Every neighborhood has that one house. The one people whisper about. The one kids dare each other to walk past at night. In Maplewood Estates, that house belonged to Elias Turner. And for years, everyone hated him. He moved in 8 years ago. Didn't talk to anyone. Didn't wave. Didn't smile. His windows always shut. Curtains drawn. At night, people said they heard strange noises, scraping metal, muffled voices, whispers through static. When the Miller boy's dog went missing last spring, everyone already had a name in mind. Elias Turner. Rumors grew like weeds. Some said he'd been in prison. Others claimed he worked for the government. Someone posted online, "Check the basement." And that was enough. By winter, kids were calling him the butcher. Parents told their children not to knock on his door. Not even for Halloween. But every day he was there, watching, waiting. And the neighborhood, it watched him back. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and tell me in the comments section where you are watching from. Now let's begin. One Saturday, the silence broke. Tom Dyer, loud, angry, always looking for someone to blame, walked up to Elias's yard. He said the old man's truck had been parked too close to his driveway. They argued. Elias didn't raise his voice. He just turned around and went inside. Minutes later, glass shattered a bottle through his window. Tom swore he didn't do it, but no one believed Elias either. The next morning, red paint covered his fence. One word: murderer. Police came that evening. Elias stood on his porch, quiet, calm, trembling just slightly. They searched his home. No bodies, no weapons, but the walls were covered with newspaper clippings. Dozens of them. Articles about missing people from states miles away. The officers left without answers. But the neighbors, they had all the answers they needed. In their eyes, Elias Turner was guilty of something. Weeks passed, and then came the storm. The power went out across the neighborhood. Rain hammered the roofs. Lightning split the sky. Everyone stayed inside. Everyone, except Jenny Harper. She'd just come home from her shift at the hospital. Single mother. Always tired. Always kind. But that night, when she opened her front door, her daughter wasn't there. "Emily," she called. No answer. Just the rain. Panic spread fast. Neighbors came outside with flashlights. Cars crawled down the street. People shouting the little girl's name. And in the chaos, one light turned on. The only light on the street. Elias Turner's. Jenny ran through the rain, pounding on his door. "I know you're in there. Please, my daughter's missing." The door opened. Elias stood in the doorway, rain dripping from his hair. His voice calm. "I know," he said. "She's safe." For a moment, silence. Then, from behind him, a small voice. "Mom." Little Emily Harper, wrapped in a blanket, holding a mug of hot chocolate. Shivering, but alive. Elias had found her near the drainage ditch behind the houses. Cold. Crying. He brought her inside, dried her clothes, and kept her warm until her mother came home. For the first time in 8 years, the neighborhood really saw him. Not as a monster, but as a man. The next morning, people apologized. They brought food. They fixed his broken window. Tom Dyer shook his hand. And when the police came back, they learned who Elias Turner really was. Those newspaper clippings? They weren't trophies. They were cases. Cold cases. Elias had once worked for the FBI, a forensic analyst. He'd gone undercover to expose a child trafficking ring that stretched across 3 states. He'd testified against powerful men who wanted him dead. The government relocated him under witness protection. Maplewood wasn't his home. It was his hiding place. He wasn't avoiding his neighbors. He was protecting them. After that, things changed. People waved when they saw him. Kids stopped calling him names. And for the first time in years, Elias smiled. Just once. Before everything fell apart again. A week later, he was gone. No goodbye. No moving truck. No trace. His house stood empty. Until Jenny went inside. She said she just wanted to clean it out. But in the attic, she found a box. Small. Wooden. Inside a USB drive. And a note. "If you're reading this, it means they found me. The others are still out there. Don't trust anyone wearing the badge with the silver crest." Jenny stared at the note for hours. Finally, she plugged the drive into her laptop. It took a minute to load. Hundreds of files appeared. Names, faces, coordinates, and one folder, labeled Maplewood. She opened it and froze. The first image wasn't of strangers. It was her street, taken from Elias's window, and in the corner of the reflection, a man's face. Someone she recognized. Someone who was supposed to protect them all. Jenny's breathing quickened. She closed the laptop, looked toward her window, and outside, parked across the street, was a familiar black SUV. Engine running, headlights off. Elias Turner wasn't the monster they should have feared, because the real one was still watching. A car door opens. Screen fades to black. The neighborhood thought the danger was gone when Elias disappeared. But they were wrong. The truth hadn't left. It had just moved in next door. When Jenny Harper found that USB drive in Elias Turner's attic, she thought she was uncovering his past. She didn't know she was stepping into his war. The files on the drive weren't random. They were organized, color-coded, each one labeled with a name, a date, and a red X drawn across certain faces. Some of those faces were missing person posters. Others were men in uniforms. Badges with silver crests. Jenny's face illuminated by her laptop screen. The deeper she looked, the more she realized Elias hadn't been watching his neighbors out of paranoia. He'd been hunting someone close. Folder after folder, photos of Maplewood residents, their routines, where they worked, who they spoke to. It looked obsessive, but there was a pattern. Every image connected to the same person. Officer Ryan Cole. Police car idling outside. Windshield wipers. The reflection of flashing lights on wet pavement. To most people, Officer Cole was a hero. The guy who organized the neighborhood watch, who volunteered at the local school. But to Elias Turner, he was something else entirely. In the folder marked Cole, Jenny found screenshots, internal police documents, encrypted messages, even surveillance photos of unmarked vans near the woods outside town. And one final image timestamped 2 days before Elias vanished. A photo of Elias, standing at his front door, shaking hands with Cole. Jenny's voice, trembling. He knew the whole time. Jenny didn't go to the police. She couldn't. Not after what the note said. Don't trust anyone with the silver crest. So she went to the only person who might believe her, the new pastor at St. Luke's. Reverend Paul Grayson. Quiet man. Moved to Maplewood 6 months ago. Kind eyes. Listened more than he spoke. She showed him the files. The photos. The note. And he didn't seem shocked. Just sad. Elias came to me before he disappeared. He said if anything happened to him, someone would come looking. Someone with a reason to finish what he started. What do you mean? He wasn't running from them. He was waiting for proof. Something that could bring the entire network down. Before he could say more, the church went dark. Power out again. Same as the night Elias vanished. Jenny's phone buzzed a message from an unknown number. She opened it. A single video clip. Elias Turner. Recorded on a shaky camera, inside what looked like a motel room. If you're watching this, it means Cole knows you have the drive. Don't trust anyone. The files aren't just names, they're coordinates. There's something buried near Maplewood Creek. Something they'd kill to keep hidden. The video cuts off. Jenny froze. Maplewood Creek was less than a mile from her house. By morning, she was there, flashlight in hand, boots sinking into the mud. The rain hadn't stopped for days. Branches cracked under her feet. Somewhere nearby, an engine hummed softly. She followed the GPS coordinates from the drive 42.7762, minus 88.0901. It led to a patch of ground near the waterline, freshly disturbed soil. Her flashlight flickered as she brushed away the dirt. A metal box, same kind as the one she'd found in Elias's attic. But this one was locked tight with the same silver crest stamped on the lid. She barely had time to react before headlights burst through the trees. A black SUV, engine roaring. Jenny dropped the box and ran. The door slammed open. A man's voice shouted her name. Jenny, stop. She turned back. Officer Cole, drenched in rain, gun drawn. You shouldn't have come here. What did you do to him? You don't understand, Jenny. Elias wasn't who you think he was. He wasn't protecting you. He was protecting them. Jenny steps back, flashlight shaking. Cole's expression changes, almost pitying. They were never after him. They were after you. The next morning, Maplewood Creek was empty. No car. No footprints. Just the faint outline of a box buried beneath the mud and a trail leading into the woods. That night, someone slipped an envelope under Jenny's front door. Inside, a photograph, taken from above. Grainy, blurred, but in the corner, you could make out 2 figures near the creek. Jenny Harper and someone standing behind her. Someone who wasn't Officer Cole. Elias Turner's story wasn't over. He'd warned her not to trust anyone. But if Cole wasn't the one who pulled the trigger that night, then who was? The story continues in the next video.